haunted houses, and you know, this thing about haunted houses goes all over the world. And in 99 cases out of 100, it's souls that are not at peace, you know, create some sort of a disturbance or whatever, you know, looking for help. And looking for this help can be drastic at times, you know. And now at home at the moment, I was asked last July to go down to these premises not too far from where I live, in a big manufacturing complex. And some of the workers, especially those that were spiritually or involved in, you know, were maybe good living people, were always affected by, when they were in this, working in this building. One lady to the extent of 18 years, she was a cleaner. But back in July, one day herself and another lady were cleaning out the washroom, and she would have various experiences in the building everywhere, and she was to see these rings around the floor, and they would move up and they would move up the wall, but they never affected her, and she knew that they were evil situations. But on this particular occasion, she was in cleaning out the washroom, and she seen these rings as if they were moving up the wall. And the next thing was like as if somebody put their hand behind her and just catapulted her out in the door. She was thrown about 16 or 17 feet, and she landed on her face and on her body. And her two elbows were all skinned off the floor. And there was another younger person outside the door who had experienced this, and there was nobody around to be seen. So I was asked to go down there, and I met this lady, and I also met another person in charge. And it had to be done very secretly. I was actually introduced as an engineer when I was taken into the place. And the purpose of my visit there wasn't related to nobody, only the person, only the manager of the place. Because it could have a devastating effect if this thing was got to be known on the product that they made. So after getting all the details, we went into a room, and the windows were all closed and the door locked. And we prayed, and Our Lady gave messages and messages, and I had to ask him at one stage in the early stage to go out and get a writing pad or something, write down all the directions. So I think it was about 3 pages filled, and we put them all down one after the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many different directions came. And after 2 hours we were finished, and eventually found out that we were to, the bishop was to be approached about this. And the bishop was approached, and we met the bishop, the 3 of us. And we had it all written out. We had sent the details of this particular 2-hour meeting in this particular place to the bishop so that he could study it, and if he wanted to meet somebody or ask somebody about it beforehand, that was okay. But he didn't ask me that many questions. But the lady who had the experience, he asked her an awful lot of questions. We went them an hour, and most of that hour was asking her questions, what she would have experienced and what other people would have experienced in this place. So he was to go see all of them. So he has all of them seen at the moment. And it lies now to have, what came across was there was a mass of exorcism to be performed in this particular building. It was a place about 400 years ago where witchcraft was practiced. And one of the sacrifice sites is actually, 95% of it is under this building. And that is the place where she was affected. And even as now, if I go down out in the town, within 200 yards, I can pick up that still, even up to the other day, where this thing is. But anyway, they're organising to have a mass celebrated, which was part of the direction from Our Lady, a massive exorcism on this particular site to get rid of these situations. Now, there has been 2 other experiences. This lady has had another experience since, and her friend has had another one as well, who's only a younger person. But I'm only just telling you about that now. People would think these things don't happen, but they are happening all the time. And people, you know, the old advice always after people was that somebody like they were involved in spiritual things. You know, maybe through their husbands or through members of their family or whatever. There's so many ways that, you know, Satan can work. But anyway, we keep the prayer up, you keep that at bay.